Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Psycho's Platters, episode 42. Yeah, that's right, we've already got up to 42 already. It's early morning, sort of, kind of, sort of. I can do these things when it's occasionally quiet. Yeah, I've got grandson living with me now, so that's kind of the reason that these broadcasts may end up being a little bit more sporadic for now, anyway. I trust everybody hopefully had good crate digging over the past week or two. I have to confess I don't have very much to show this time around. Could be a short episode, we shall see. Wearing this, I don't know if you can see, it is a Bob Dylan shirt. It was from his Halloween 2004 gig in DeKalb, Illinois, at the NIU Convocation Center. I went, and my bestie Kathy Emmer, we both went, and I think she'd agree with me that that was one of the weirdest concerts that we ever went to. In that tour, I did a little research on this. Augie Myers, who was a former member of the Sir Douglas Quintet and worked with Doug Sam, I don't know if you remember, out of Texas, in the Texas Tornadoes. I think Augie Meyer worked for them too. He fell ill during that tour, and so Bob stepped up and played keyboards. Go figure, he played keyboards for the rest of the run, and all he did was keyboards and harmonica. He didn't touch a guitar. It was real odd. In fact, let's see, what was it? The only other musician that was stellar was a gentleman by the name of David Mansfield. He was playing jeez, I am so sorry. I'm out of it this morning. Mandolin. He was killer on that. He got his start in bands like the Alpha Band with T-Bone Burnett on Arista in the late 70s, and then ended up with Bruce Hornsby and the Range in the 80s. Very talented musician. In fact, he got just as much applause as Dylan got that day. I remember that. That tour, he only ended up, like I said, this was 2004, so he only ended up doing most of the material from like the last 2 to 3 albums. Very few of his classics. I remember him doing a strange version of Highway 61 Revisited, and then, I hate to admit this, but the best part came during the encore when he went off and did hyped up versions of Like a Rolling Stone and All Along the Watchtower, which, seriously, they were borderline hard rock. It was really good. I said, gee, I wish the rest of this concert was just as good as the encore was. I have friends of mine that have seen Dylan since then, and they have admitted, even though he is an iconic legend, that he should pack it in. And I don't know if you're in that camp too. I like the man, I do, but if you're not giving shows up to par, and what I mean by that is, everybody gets sick, they get sick. I mean, this man has been performing since 1959, so next year will be his 55th year, and kudos to him. But, I mean, if you're giving, if you're anybody, and I'm not just insulting Dylan, I don't mean to insult him, it's, if you just can't deliver par performances, at least anymore, then pack it in or just do studio albums. I mean, there's a lot of heritage acts that are out there. For example, okay, I can think of Moody Blues. All right, I'm a Moody's fan. I like the Moody's. I'm 46, so obviously I didn't grow up during the Knights in White Satin era. For me, it was the early 80s when they did Long Distance Voyager and The Voice, and what was it, Sitting at the Wheel, and Your Wildest Dreams, things like that. That was the era that I grew up listening to the Moody's, okay? But a couple members fell by the wayside, and you're down to 3 of them, and they haven't done an album since a Christmas album. I think it was in 04, 05. I could be wrong on this, but that was the last album that the Moody's did, and they're not going to put another one out. They just keep going out there and playing the same stuff. Now, I'll admit I haven't seen them, and I would like to see them myself, but you know what I'm getting at is, I guess, is that even these bands going back to the 50s, okay? I mean, Lloyd Price even put a new album out, okay? And he's from the 50s, and he put a new album out. Kudos to him. You know, he hasn't had a new album in at least 20 plus years. I'm told Fats Domino's working on one, okay? And he's been around since 1948 in music. So that, you know, people can still make new product. If you don't feel like doing a whole album, go off and, I know this is going to sound weird. A lot of bands do it, though, but they still get gobbled up by music fans. Go off and either reissue greatest hits once every, like, 4 or 5 years and put a couple new songs on it, or do what Fleetwood Mac did. Okay, I haven't heard the new one. They did an EP, okay, and I hope John McVie's getting better from his cancer treatment, but they did 4 new songs. But for the moment, you can only get it on iTunes. That part sucks. I don't like that. They should, you know, if you're going to do the iTunes and you feel like you should do the exclusivity, fine. Do the iTunes for an X amount of time, and then put the rest of it, you know, put it on your website. You know, channel it through, like, Warner Rhino or something if you're a Heritage Act. Alright, I guess enough of my yapping on this point. Didn't find a heck of a lot over the last 2 weeks. I'm kind of slightly disappointed. Let me show you the albums. I didn't find too many of these. Like I said, pretty sad. Probably a lot of people have got Waylon, pardon for the glare, I'm sorry, Waylon's Greatest Hits. I got it for free. There was a pile of albums. This was the only decent thing in the pile of albums. It was in mint condition. Also in mint condition, it pays to go torture your Goodwill associates. Somebody went and dumped their whole, it seemed like their whole entire Kenny Rogers collection. I showed you some of the first edition albums I picked up a couple weeks back, but at the bottom of the pile was this pair, and okay, fine. They were from their 70s reissues, mint condition, Elvis, okay? Almost in Love, and come on, everybody, on Pickwick. I know, Pickwick is not the best for Elvis material, but like I said, these were clean, stone mint, buck, couldn't pass them up. Alright, here's another one. Believe it or not, this isn't an album, but I happen to be at my local vintage stock. Okay, I don't know if you've got one in your state and where you live, but they had a crap load. I mean, a pile, here, the table's on the end here, but a pile up to here of laser discs. Now, I don't have a laser disc player, but I have a friend that does. And for him, I snagged a mint copy of Clockwork Orange, which I'm like, for 99 cents, couldn't pass that up. But then I found this at the bottom of the pile, and it is from Criterion, from 1985, The Beatles and Help. Now, the only thing that is wrong with this, and I'm sorry to say, as you could see, some water damage on the bottom corner of this, but it says Special Edition, and the discs are clean. Okay. And then your back, of course, just explains all the chapters, and it did actually come with back, like I said, at that time, original theatrical trailer, behind-the-scenes footage, the world premiere, promotional materials and record covers, production photos, and an open-ended radio interview. All were included in this as well. And you know what? I mean, the liner notes on this sucker were really neat too. They've got half of the covers got your liner notes. But for 99 cents, I couldn't pass this up. My friend Doug Fields told me that he's got a Hard Day's Night Laserdisc. Now, can anybody tell me out there by chance? Excuse me. We know that Hard Day's Night, obviously on Laserdisc. Help was on Laserdisc. Did they make Laserdiscs for Magical Mystery Tour, Let It Be, and Yellow Submarine? Does anybody know that out there? Because I'm curious. I'd like to eventually find all of them, okay, just to have for the collection's sake. I know that Let It Be was issued on VHS in 1985-86, and then they deleted it really quickly. Well, you know, since 85, you had your Laserdiscs back then. That's what makes me wonder, did it exist? I can't talk today, on Laserdisc. Need more coffee. So that's a good trivia point for you there. Okay, 45s, quarter piece. They are in actually mostly decent shape. They just need to get cleaned up a little bit. A couple of these here. The first couple here, Bill Black's combo on high. If you don't know who Bill Black is, Bill Black was the original bass player for Elvis. Okay, back in the later Sun days. All right, in early RCA, him and Scotty Moore, guitar legend, were Elvis's backing band. Okay, so some of this stuff's pretty cool. Bill Black died in 1965 in a hospital. I can't remember what for, but Monkey Shine, Blue Tango, those couple I found. This one here, I normally don't get these, but it just seemed to me I'm curious to hear. Have you ever come across anything on the Hit Records label? Yeah, I know. It was one of those budget labels that were real cheapo recordings, but I'm told, you know, here in the 2010s, that some of the bands that were on these things had some members that ended up being, you know, semi-famous and stuff like that. But I ended up finding this one said Dance, Dance, Dance. Of course, it's the Beach Boys cover by the Spartas. All right, and then Everything's All Right from John D. Loudermilk. It was the flip side from the Roamers. Let's see. Also, how about this? I found on Atco, except somebody decided they thought they would be funny, and on Atco, I've got from Linda Hopkins, which I've never heard of her. I'll have to admit this. It looks like her late 50s, based on the scribble. Love is a Many Splendored Thing. Joni Summers, I've heard of her. With Neil Hefti and his orchestra. Neil Hefti, if I remember correctly, had some involvement with the Batman theme in the mid-60s. I Don't Want to Walk Without You is the name of this one. On Old School Warner. Let's see. Also here, and here's another Bill Black, Little Jasper, The Untouchable Sound of the Big Black Combo. These two are a little bit of a mystery. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Doug knows about this stuff. These ones just need a little bit of cleaning. I'd give them at least PG pluses. But I have here, the only hint I've got on the Sandy record label from Marion is the artist, Happy Lonesome. And the only hint I have on this is somebody in pencil wrote Slow Boogie. And Sandy Records, it appears, was a small label from Mobile, Alabama. And you know dang well, to me that says elements of, hey, guess what? This could be some nice blues stuff, hopefully. And let the rest of the world go by. And then this one here, believe it or not, I just read an obituary on him. He passed away last week, if this is the same person that I'm thinking of. Here on Sky Records, She's My Woman with Bobby Roberts with the Jennings Brothers. So I can't wait to listen to this. And of course it says it's in real tiny letters. It says Super Fi. So, but like I said, they just really need some cleaning up. That's all. And those sound really good. That's all I found in records. This I came across in a box, which I thought you'd appreciate. I picked this up on eBay not too long ago. But, you know, I kind of sort of had to get this. You like Molly Hatchet? I like Molly Hatchet. But this one here I picked up decently priced. It is a promo picture. I know, sorry about the glare. Of course, it is from 1989, 88, 89, roughly, this picture, because in the corner it says Capitol Records. Capitol Records, they did one album called Lightning Strikes Twice, which unfortunately it really didn't do real good on the charts. But pretty much from what I can figure out here, okay, I have got almost all of the band. The only one, yeah, like for example, I've got Dwayne Rowland. He's been dead for a couple of years, unfortunately. Bruce Crump, the drummer. Biff West, who he also originally came from. He also was in a version of Foghat in the early 80s with, I want to say with Lonesome Dave. He was bass player in that version, like I want to say 84, 85. After that, I could be wrong on that. Bobby Ingram, of course, as well, who's been with him since 1985. So not, like I said, not too shabby. I only paid a couple bucks for this. The only one that didn't sign this was Danny Joe Brown, and unfortunately, that would have made things a lot more sweeter, considering that Danny Joe was the lead singer, and he's been dead now for a few years as well. But I thought you'd get a kick out of this too. Like I said, I found that. I have other autographs that I'll be digging up in future broadcasts. So let's see. Here's what I'd like in the comments page this time around, okay? One or two things. How about this? We'll make it a two-part question, different questions. Number one, what act that's been around for quite a while do you think shouldn't be around anymore? I know that kind of sounds mean. That's really not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be kind of truthful, though. You know, like I said, I brought up Dylan, I brought up the Moody's. I'm like, who's the one that like you went and saw him, or you had friends that said, oh dear God, the concert was horrendous, or wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be? Is there a band that you think that probably should just go away, you know, and just say, hey, pack up your rock and roll shoes and say, this is the end for you? Or number two, how about this one? You know, Christmas season's coming. Is there any new things that you are drooling over for the holidays? For example, there are two nice ones that I came across. Beatles Live at the BBC Volume 2. I've heard several cuts off of this and love it. I don't have Volume 1. They have reissued both. That I would love to get for Christmas. The 2-pack, the Volume 1 and 2. Or Jimi Hendrix's Live at the Miami Pop Festival in '68. I know those came out. Okay, so, you know, just leave your comments down in the bottom of the box. I love reading them, by the way. I apologize if I don't get to things as quick as I used to. Like I said, I've got added duties now. Not only am I a single parent with well, let's see, several kids here, but I'm also an occasional grandparent too. So I will try to do these as best as I can. So forgive me on that. Shout outs really quick. Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. Yes, the best. I'm going to throw that out there. It is the best Sunday night oldie and new sounds occasionally radio show, period. Yeah, that's right. I put it out there. period. It is the best show out there on Sunday nights. You are doing your ears and your soul a disservice if you do not go and like his page on Facebook, Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark, and listen to his show Sunday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You will have 3 entertaining hours. I promise. I don't promise that often. I'll even Vulcan swear. It is probably the best radio show, at least on Sunday night, that I know of in my world. And then, of course, followed by that. How could you follow that up? But you can. It's the Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams. He is great at what he does. He finds the best in lounge and exotica. It is guaranteed martini music, people. You will have, if you're not calm by the end of, his show at 10 p.m. Central Standard, then you're dead. How about that? It's 4 great hours on Sunday nights. Listen to that. I'm also going to throw this out there too, on the show just on this yesterday. They brought up a new label that has been activated. It is for classic, how do I say this, albums that were overlooked. It's called Now Sounds. They are part of the Cherry Red Records website from England. I'm telling you guys, if you love old, 60s, 70s, they have lovingly taken care of catalogs that they've recently acquired. They were playing some Association last night. Also, let's see, what was the other thing? The Staccatos, they brought that up. The Staccatos was the band before Five Man Electrical band was the Staccatos, okay? They search, they go look for things. This is fun. I hope this label lasts a long, long time, and I hope that they are equivalent in their huntings down as much as Sundazed, Light in the Attic, Norton. I know I'm missing a few. Cherry Red is another good one for your 70s and 80s, but the Now Sounds digs even deeper back in the 60s and 70s than I know of. So go like their page on Facebook. It's a really interesting site, Now Sounds, on Facebook. Thrifty Music Collectors Group, Tim Smith and Company. Let's see, what else? The new Shindig and the new Record Collector magazines should be coming out real soon by the time you read this. I don't know what's in them yet, but every issue is stellar from Shindig and Record Collector. They are fantastic at what they do, and I am glad they are there. Goldmine, I love you, but nobody carries you here. Barnes & Noble stopped, so I don't know. We need to get Goldmine back into the shops too. I miss it. I used to be a voracious reader. Seriously. I mean, I was a subscriber as far back as 1980. Yeah, that's when I first got heard about it. It was like late 79 is when I heard of the magazine and started getting it. And then by 1980, I was hooked. So, I mean, I read for about a good 20 years. Even Discoveries, remember those? And Discoveries died, and Goldmine, I thought, died too, and I guess they didn't. They just reduced themselves down to a literal magazine. But I wish Goldmine had come back into the shops. I missed that one too. So, all right, guys, you know what? I know I'm long-winded, but you take care. God bless. Happy crate hunting for the next week, and hopefully see you in the next week or two. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, if I don't get to talk to you guys between now and then, happy Thanksgiving as well. Okay? Take care. God bless. Rock on.